Mr. Williams.
Well, again, thank you, Joanne. Thank you to the PTA. You know, those that have heard me out on the campaign trail know that I'm kind of fond of quoting some lines from a favorite children's author of mine, Dr. Seuss, because I think when I hear some of the rhetoric from those in charge at the Capitol and the Department of Ed, it reminds me of some of these lines. For example, there's a book that said, "Did I ever tell you how lucky you are?" And there's some lines in it that says, when you think things are bad, when you feel sour and blue, when you start to get mad, you should do what I do. Just tell yourself, Ducky, you're really quite lucky. Some people are much more, oh, ever so much more, oh, muchly, much, much more unlucky than you. And I share this because over the last year, year and a half especially, we've heard a lot of rhetoric from those in charge, frankly, those that have been in charge, as I referenced earlier, for almost 16 years now, where they tell us that we should be grateful for the way things are because they could be so much worse, or in some cases, they'll actually try to lead us to believe that things have gotten better. And I think it's time that we gave our children the voice that they don't have in this election by casting a vote for change and saying that we're going to finally put an end to the status quo that would not be honest with us about where we really are and where we can get to go. We have 151 days, but who's counting, until the election, when we have an opportunity to not just change the face, but to change the mind. Clearly, we're going to have a new superintendent of public instruction, that new face. But we need not just the new face, we need someone with a completely different mindset when it comes to running our schools and supporting our children. Someone who's worked in the trenches in some of the toughest of schools, the most under-resourced communities, and knows how to produce significant academic results for children. That's been my life work, my life story, and should I have the privilege of being state superintendent, what I intend to do every single day on behalf of our children. So I ask for your support, I ask for your vote, so that in 151 days we can give our children finally something to be proud of by guaranteeing that the leaders that are at the top are fighting every day to give them access to an excellent public education no matter where they live in our great state. So again, thank you very much, everyone, and I hope, again, to earn your support and your vote. You can go to www.williamsforarizona, everything spelled out.com, to learn more about my platform, to volunteer, to sign up and get involved. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Dr. Price.
I'm going to stand up so I can see you all. At the bottom of the flyer that is out on the table, there's one sentence here. Planned, wrote, and directed $10 million worth of Title III grants to community colleges. That is where I can shine. I know how to write 250-page grants, and each one of those grants, and by the way, 7 million of those grants came to Arizona. I know how to write those grants. I know how to handle budgets. I know that when we started, we did not have the budget problems we're having today. And I thought, oh my goodness. But I've been prepared. On those grants, I had to do self-sufficiency plans for the whole organization. And that's what I will do for the state of Arizona. So there's equity, schools get what they need, and if we don't have it in our budget, we're going to go out and get a grant to make sure that all of our teachers are paid, our staff is not overpaid, and each school is evaluated where they are in the mainstream, and the superintendents of each area have power. I don't believe in pushing power to the top. I believe in giving superintendents the power to run their school and the responsibility as well to work with the teachers. We have a talented group of people, and certainly we know that all of the people that are not really contributing have had to be eliminated. So here we are, teamwork, everybody. Will you help?
Thank you, Dr. Price. Ms. Kotterman.
Can see the other half of the room. I want to thank the Arizona PTA again for this remarkable opportunity. It's great to have the chance to talk with parents and concerned community citizens about these kinds of issues. I believe public education is the very foundation of our democracy. Public education, our common schools were created so that we could educate our children and our youth to be productive citizens, so that they could think critically, make decisions for themselves based on information and knowledge, so that they could participate fully in our economy and our society. It is in the halls of our public schools that children learn respect and basic decency. It is in our classrooms that they learn the skills and knowledge they need to survive in the world, to think critically. It's where they learn the answers to what their life is going to be all about. We have an absolute obligation to provide our children with the best possible quality education. We will all be stronger if our public schools are stronger, and an investment now in their future will mean an investment for generations to come. You know, public education, in my view, is about responsibility and obligation and opportunity. And I believe our students deserve the very best of all three. It's about setting high standards and high expectations, not just for our children, but for ourselves. It's about making sure that our elected officials are held accountable for the things that they promise us during campaigns, and that we have the right kind of leadership to move us forward as our children so richly deserve. We have to lead by example, and the right kind of leadership in this case is extremely important. And I believe our schools deserve, absolutely deserve, a passionate, committed, dedicated public school educator as the next superintendent of public instruction. I spent 30 years in public education. That defines my career. In very difficult schools, in very affluent schools, in rural communities, and in inner city schools. My experience is broad and it's deep, and I am committed to being the very best superintendent of public instruction the state has had in the last 2 decades, and to making certain that we build the kind of collaborative relationships that are essential to the success for all of our students. I want to thank you very, very much for this opportunity. You can find out more about me, my complete bio, and many things about my campaign at our website at pennykotterman.com, and I will stay afterwards and join you for the reception to answer any other questions that you have. Thank you very, very much.